Prime Minister Keir Starmer has caused even greater shock with a disastrous decision revealed in his latest speech, a move that blatantly betrays Labour's promise to protect workers' rights. This has ignited public outrage, flooding social media with sharp criticism. In today's video, we'll examine and discuss this development and bring you the latest news from across the country. But first, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any crucial political updates.
And therefore that is the end of the funding in relation to a £2 capped fare. I do know how much this matters, particularly in rural communities where there's heavy reliance on buses, and that's why I'm able to say to you this morning that in the budget we will announce there'll be a £3 cap on bus fares to the end of 25, because I know how important it is. So that'll be there in the budget on Wednesday.
Starmer and the Labour Party proudly declare their commitment to safeguarding workers' rights. Yet, the reality shows that they have done the opposite since coming to power. Most of the Labour Party's decisions seem to challenge the voters who have placed their trust in them and those to whom their manifesto was directed. In a recent speech prior to the announcement of the autumn budget, Starmer made a damaging decision that puts many workers in a more difficult situation. This decision involves raising the national bus fare cap from £2 to £3. It is essential to emphasise that the £2 fare will only be maintained until the end of 2024, after which the funding for this cap will cease. This decision is particularly significant in rural communities where residents depend on buses. The upcoming budget will announce a new fare cap of £3 for bus tickets until the end of 2025, reflecting an awareness of the importance of this issue. This means that bus commuters will have to spend an additional £40 per month amid the current cost of living crisis. Darren Grimes criticised the Labour Party for squandering the valuable opportunity presented by the £2 bus fare. People like his mother, who suffers from epilepsy, desperately need this fare to travel from rural areas like County Durham to their workplaces. This is a lifeline for those who cannot use other forms of transport. It seems that the Labour Party is hurting itself with these decisions. They claim to be the party of the people, but in reality, they are serving the interests of London. While they cannot support rural communities by maintaining the bus fare, they are capable of transferring £11 billion for climate aid and £22 billion for unproven carbon capture technologies, along with expenses for free hotel accommodations for migrants. Some people have expressed surprise at the bus fare increase. They have used buses for short trips and left their cars at home. So what is the incentive for a greener future? An increase of £1 may not seem like much, but 3 short trips will now cost up to £9. Some people have decided to revert to using cars due to the increase in bus fares and taxes, while the Labour Party continues to claim that they support workers. This is truly an unacceptable contradiction. Who does this really benefit? One individual pointed out that the £2 daily fare for round trips has become a burden, forcing millions to spend an additional £10 a week out of their pockets before even considering any other expenses. This is, in fact, a covert tax policy that the Labour Party has imposed, and everyone knows that this money is not intended for the British public. One person noted that reforms should shift from exploiting the vulnerable to implementing more practical support policies. Many believe that they could save billions if they did not pursue climate aid programs or support for countries with their own space plans, and instead focused on addressing the tangible issues people are struggling with, such as financial support for buses, healthcare systems, and drug prices. One department head pointed out that bus passengers may not be considered workers. Another opinion emphasised that bus users are primarily retirees, workers without cars, or those trying to minimise their personal vehicle usage. They are completely dependent on buses for transportation and are suffering significantly. It is fortunate that the Conservative Party is no longer in power. Opinions on Starmer's latest attack on workers are causing considerable controversy. In another development, a Labour MP was suspended after being involved in a scuffle in his constituency, where he punched a man, causing him to fall to the ground. The incident has been reported in the media. Mike Amesbury, the MP for Runcorn and Helsby, attacked a man, leading to the victim falling to the floor before being hit 6 more times. CCTV footage of the incident was released last week. The assaulted man was identified as Paul Fellows, 42, a local resident from Cheshire. The altercation occurred while Fellows was waiting for a taxi early on Saturday morning. The two men were allegedly involved in a heated debate concerning cuts to winter fuel allowances and the closure of a local bridge. Amesbury, 55, who previously served as Shadow Housing Minister under Sir Keir Starmer, had a conversation with a man before suddenly launching an attack with a left hook that caused the victim to fall. During the tense exchange, the man criticised that he would never dare threaten his MP again. Fellows, in an interview with the BBC, stated that he had swelling on the back of his head and jaw and had to go to the hospital for a health check. Cheshire Police have confirmed that they received a report of an alleged assault early yesterday morning. A spokesperson for the force stated that at 2:48 AM on Saturday, October 26th, they received a call reporting an attack that occurred in Frodsham. It was reported that a man had been assaulted on Main Street and an investigation is currently underway. On his personal Facebook page on Saturday, the MP stated that he was involved in an incident after feeling threatened during a night out with friends. He proactively contacted Cheshire Police this morning to report the incident. While declining to make any further public comments, he affirmed that he would cooperate with any investigation if required. As a result of this incident, Mr Amesbury has been stripped of his position and his Labour Party membership has been revoked. Sir Keir Starmer described the video of the incident as shocking. Just minutes after the Labour Party's announcement, Reform UK, the party that came second to Amesbury in the July elections, called for him to resign. A spokesperson for Reform UK emphasised that the new footage of MP Mike Amesbury is truly condemnable. Regardless of any prior exchanges that took place, the use of violence to resolve disputes by anyone is unacceptable, especially by a sitting Member of Parliament. The people of Runcorn and Helsby certainly deserve better than this. Reform UK today urged Mr Mike Amesbury to act responsibly and resign immediately so that a by-election can be organised. A spokesperson for the Labour Party later announced that Mr Mike Amesbury was assisting Cheshire Police in their investigation into the incident that occurred on Friday night. Due to the ongoing investigations, the Labour Party has decided to suspend Mr Amesbury's membership in the party, pending the outcome of the inquiry. Finally, Mr Billy Pounder, who voted for the Labour Party in July, expressed regret for supporting Starmer's party, criticising the decision to cut winter fuel payments as extremely unfair to those who have dedicated their lives to society. He explained that he had bought a small heater with £50 he earned last year, and often had to move it from room to room to avoid heating the entire wooden house. This is truly unfair. He also did not hesitate to criticise the immigration policy, arguing that immigrants who have never contributed to this country should not be receiving free housing. They should not have to live in a state of austerity and cuts. He has worked his entire life and doesn't have much savings, but he just received a pension increase at the beginning of the month, a pension he has had since he was 60. However, just a week after receiving that increase, he got a letter from Durham County Council informing him that his council tax had gone up for this reason. Thus, the authorities gave him this handout but took it away with the other. Some officials in Downing Street expressed horror upon hearing Mr Billy Pounder's story, explaining the negative impact of government policy on their daily lives. What do you think about the issues we discussed in today's video? Please leave your comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest political news in the UK. Thank you and see you in the next videos.